Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I'm Rebecca Louise of Rebecca Louise Knits, and on this channel I talk about yarn, fibre and what I like to make with it, whether that be my own designs, other people's patterns or just trying out a new technique. This is my monthly podcast where I talk about my finished objects of what I've made in knitting or crochet or even spinning lately. And then I'll talk about my works in progress, so what I've got on the needles and on the hook or the spindle, and then some acquisitions, which is always nice to see stuff that I'm bringing into my stash, new things that I've found, and of course new fibre, because if you've seen any of my podcasts before, you know I can talk about fibre all day long. So if you're new here, that's what I'm going to be doing today. This is my podcast. I have shortened it to RLK, but Rebecca Louise Knits podcast, whatever you like, and this is episode 6. And I do have quite a lot to show, so I'm going to try and not make it a super long one, but we'll see how I get on. But if you've been here before and you know absolutely everything that I'm talking about, welcome back. Thank you for joining. And any newcomers, welcome. I'm going to get started now on some of my finished objects. One in particular that I'm very, very happy with is this. This is the Scrunchie Bag by Loupy Studio, and I got the second round of the kits by Qing Fibre, which came with everything included, which was the yarn, the cable to tie the bag, as well as some stitch markers and an absolutely lovely velvet project bag, which currently has something else in it that's in a planning stage, so that's off to the side right now and we're not going to talk about it. But yeah, here is the Scrunchie bag and absolutely love it. Knitting it up was really, really lovely because I'll show you the inside and how it works and how it unscrunches and how it scrunches back up like so. So yeah, if you don't follow Loupy Studio, this is one of her brilliant creations. This is the knit version. She also has a crochet version. Go and check that out if you're interested. And you can do it with, I think, basically any yarn. She does talk about sort of gauge and everything like that. But what I loved about the pattern, it was really sort of like, let's have a go. Don't worry too much. Just make something beautiful, which is always a really lovely treat. Because I think in knitting particularly, the techniques can get a little bit, you can get in your head about the techniques and how difficult they can become. But this pattern was really, really lovely and it was like a breath of fresh air. So yeah, really, really cute. Yeah, so I love knitting it up because I'd never worked with boucle before. So the yarns are one strand of boucle in Klein blue, and then 2 strands held together of merino single and baby melted Suri, both in the colour 600 volts. And yes, I absolutely loved working on it. It was really, really fun, just like the bag itself. Haven't used it out yet. I'm hoping to this week because I think it'd just be really fun to use it, so trial it out, see how it is as a bag. But yeah, that's not the last of those yarns. I have something else that I'm working on that I had left with the scraps, but that'll be in works in progress. Okay, 3 pieces that I've finished that were all for my TikTok series, 100 grams or less. If you don't know what that is, I'm doing a TikTok series called 100 grams or less, where I take 100 grams in quantity of yarn or less than 100, and I have to make something. And so just from the last few episodes that I did, I've got at least 3 pieces. So this was from episode 6, and this is Petite Knits Weekend Headband. I used Sandnes Double Sunday in the colour Marzipan, and it's this really beautiful beige colour, as you can see. I've tried to get more light, but I'm hoping it's okay. So yeah, I talked about it a lot in the episode. The techniques that went into it were a little bit different. I hadn't done some of the things that you needed to do for it. One in particular was the bind off, which, if you've watched the episode, you know that I had to do it twice, and that my first sample was ridiculously smaller than it needed to be. Seriously, one needle size in gauge can be very, very scary when it actually comes to something being finished and it being like less than half the size as the one that was done with the bigger needle. I don't know what happened there. Some sort of weird knitting twilight zone, and we made it through. And this was the final piece. It does fit. I haven't had many chances to wear it. It got really warm here really, really quickly, and so I haven't really needed to wear it even when I've gone on like a walk or like just generally gone outside. So hoping to get more wear into it, maybe when the weather starts to cool off, but obviously it might be quite a while until then, because we're experiencing some very, very warm weather, and for once I'm actually embracing it, and I don't actually want it to go away very quickly. So I'm taking that as a good sign. So yeah, tragically not a lot of wear, but loved it, and I would recommend the pattern. Potentially more like an intermediate knitter though. It's even a few of the techniques threw me. So I'd say, yeah, I would say the difficulty is up there. I think she did mark it difficult as intermediate. I'll check. But yes, really liked it. Petite knit, classic, whatever you want to say. Yeah. So, continuing with petite knit, I have the Sophie scarf, which I've knit up in Novita's Natural Collection Suomivilla. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly. I apologise if I'm not. Yeah, so again, this was much, much easier once you got in the rhythm of the row count and the increases. You're away. Naturally, I had to mark every single part of it, but I didn't mind that, and it came out really lovely. It blocked beautifully. A really big fan of garter with the stockinette selvage edge. We love an I-cord over here at Rebecca Louise Knits, and it really cutely does make the croissant shape that it's meant to. Little croissant. So yeah, I was really, really happy with that. It worked out really well. And again, yeah, a little too warm to wear out, even though it is a really teeny tiny scarf. But the yarn is a Finnish wool, so from Finland, and she rustic, which I love. I like a rustic yarn. Ask anyone at my yarn group. I love a rustic yarn. But with it just being hot, I don't really think I'm appreciating the prickliness that it can give away. So I'm waiting for some rain to come along to wear some of that, or maybe just a cooler day, little overcast maybe. Yes. So that's it. They are my petite knits from 100 grams or less. That was 2 episodes. And then I have episode 8, which has just come out this week. This is my crochet headscarf. You can't really see it in all of its glory. I'm going to show a picture of me wearing it so that you can get a better idea of how it looks. But yeah, super, super happy with this. I crocheted this up. It's just basically back and forth granny stitch. Absolutely loved it. Loved working on it. It worked up so quickly. And yeah, this is my latest. So that episode came out this week, so you can check that out on my TikTok. But I am thinking of making a pattern because I really, really loved it. It had a really simplicity to it when it was being made, and I think so many people could make this. Like literally it's just granny stitch. If you know how to do that, you know how to make this. And I thought it would be really fun, like in a load of different ways. So for instance, the yarn I used was Illimani's Amelie. which is a chainette yarn, and I think it would be lovely in a cotton, and then I think it would be lovely, maybe a mohair version I think would be lovely. And I think there's just so much to play around because it's just rose, so you could change the colours even. I have so many ideas. But yeah, I'm going to get the pattern written up, and that's going to be coming soon, so watch out for that. And yeah, next up, last finished object. I finished one of their Kumiko socks, and it actually looks really, really lovely. Look at that. Look at that quilted lace stitch. Oh my gosh. Sometimes you're just amazed at what you're capable of doing. Yes, so here it is in all its beautiful little sections with all its colours. The yarn of, so the pattern, Kumiko Socks by Yucca. I got the pattern in an issue of Pom Pom, which is issue 42 in the Pom Pom magazine. And yeah, finished number 1. We have started the second one. Second sock syndrome is not going to get me. Yeah, I'm determined. So, have started the second one. It's in my works in progress, but I just wanted to show off because I think it's absolutely beautiful, and I was so happy with where I decided all the colours would go and everything, and it did finish off really beautiful. It is on the small side. Not gonna lie, it is. It's on the small side. And not that that's bad. The pattern itself has a negative ease of 2 inches, and so when I considered, like, even with like a foot, that sort of makes sense, because of course with it being lace it does really need to be sort of suspended for you to really see the pattern itself. But yeah, even if they aren't the most comfortable things to wear, I think just having them is going to be really, really lovely. And I learned so much about sock structure and stuff like that. So yeah, I would recommend the pattern if you fancy a sock challenge. If you're only just learning how to make socks, maybe give this, like, save this for later, because it's knit in completely different sections, which I had to wrap my head around, and I've knit socks before. So yeah, lovely, absolutely gorgeous, but I would argue it's definitely intermediate, and just if you wanted to challenge yourself with sock knitting, this is definitely the one to go with, because there was a lot to it, and you did really have to sort of take your time to do each steps, because I did have to cut. I had to frog quite a bit, just because trying to figure out how to go from like flat into the round with the lace, with the quilted lace, it was a bit tricky, but it is all laid out in the pattern, and the pattern was very easy to follow. Sometimes I think you need a bit of practice, don't you? And unfortunately sometimes that goes onto the actual garment instead of a swatch. So there we were. But yes, all done. So yarn, this is a 20-gram sock pack by Mamie and Florrie, and she very generously reached out on Instagram when I did a Whip Wednesday a few weeks ago, and I was like, she said she was like really delighted with the progress on like the sock, and so I was like, that was really chuffed. Thank you for Mamie and Florrie. It was really lovely to hear from you and to get the comment. So yes. With that being my last finished object, but of course being a pair, I'm going to show you my first work in progress, because it is the very early beginnings of sock 2. Yeah, it's only been a couple of days, so I only have like half the toe done, and my lovely stitch marker that I made with this lovely blue heart and an evil eye. But yeah, so we're on our way again, and I'm ready to do the second one, hoping I have a better experience, because I feel like I know what I'm doing now. So I'm hoping when I get the rest of that work in progress done, I'll have a lovely pair. And yes, I'm hoping the second one blocks out as well as the first one did, because I was really happy with how it blocked out, because it actually all looks the way it should now. Looked very, very crumpled before it was blocked. So yeah, first work in progress down. Okay, second, I have lovely progress on the Clematis Cardigan by Emma Knits. And if you've been following along, I've done a lot of sort of like content about this because I did my bind off and it was actually successful. And it didn't even take that long. So I was really happy with getting the cardigan bound off, and that's the body. I have taken 2 inches off the length of the body just because I really liked where it sat on me and sort of like the way that I style clothes, and so I was like, I like where it is at its length, so I went ahead and I did the ribbing and then I bound off. And yeah, I'm hoping everything still works out with the button band, and I'm sure you can shorten the body of a cardigan, so I'm not too worried. But yeah, and you can see it's got this lovely, of course, this piece coming from under the right shoulder which connects to the left, and you have that lovely band going in diagonal. So it is really starting to shape. I just need to pick up the arms and get on Sleeve Island and try and get it finished. So that's to be done. Yarns are Coop Knits Sock-Yeah in the colour Quartz, and Drops Kid Silk Mohair in the colour Marzipan, which we love. Mohair has been looking for, yeah, it's all over me. The mohair she sheds, and I don't really mind it. It's giving the cardigan an incredible halo. So I'm like, it's gonna look great when it's on, but it's more that I'm just like aware of it. The mohair sheds, good to know. And I had heard the Drops Kid Silk mohair does have a tendency to sort of shed and get anywhere, so I knew what I was getting into. I can't say that I wasn't ready for it, but yeah, just a tip if you're a little bit sensitive to fibres and them getting in the air and basically making you sneeze, just be aware that the Kid Silk mohair does have a tendency to shed, but doesn't all mohair. Like, I don't think anyone escapes it when they're working with mohair. I mean, come on. The fibres get everywhere, and we're aware of that. Okay, stop rambling, Rebecca. Move on to the next work in progress, which is, I told you it'd be back. Yes, this is the leftover yarn from the Scrunchie Bag by Qing Fibre, and I'm making some wrist warmers. Oh, it looks cute on. Yes, I absolutely love the colours, and now I'm gonna have a matching accessory to go with the bag, which we love. I love when I have like matching things that can go together because it's fun. And yeah, so that's it. It's the exact same yarn. No changes there. That's the first wrist warmer, so I'm hoping to get that done and then get the second done. I think that's achievable in the next few weeks, surely. Yes, okay. That's all my works in progress, unless we could count this. So, I've probably already talked about it before, but this is some hand spun, obviously still on my niddy noddy, and I'm actually doing something fun today, which I am going to be showing on YouTube. The video for it's probably going to be out next week though, and my podcast always goes out on the weekend, so it'll be after this. But I'm going to start washing, well not washing, but blocking, I guess, my hand spun. Or is it washing when it's like hand spun? But yeah, this shamefully has been on this niddy noddy for weeks, and so it needs to come off. So I think as a finished object, this is my hand spun that I'm finally going to sort of sort out and get off the niddy noddy so that eventually I can work with it and, I don't know, crochet or knit something, and also crack on with like all the other fibre that I have, because I have quite a lot considering it's all in like one little box. It's kind of overflowing, but so I really want to, I have been saying it for ages though. I've said it in like 2 past podcasts, so it was like, oh, I need to learn how to like wash my yarn that I've spun, and we're doing it. So this is going to be off the niddy noddy. So as a finished project, I spun this and I'm going to wash it. Okay, so another work in progress, and this is my last one, is, doesn't look like very much right now, but this is the base of a bag. And then these colourful stripes which, there we go, lovely, lovely stitch definition. Make up, or will make up once I've finished it, the Tano Tote crochet bag by made by Hannah Louise. And yeah, I'm really, really excited for it. It's going to be my summer bag. And in my last podcast, I did show the colours that I'm using. And I think I have all of these. So yeah, my gauge got a little bit funny because once I got the stitch definition down, my gauge got really, really tight. So I've had to pull back, unfortunately, and start again so I can get it all the same gauge, because my stitches were like really big on one side and then really, really tight on another side. We can't have that. So yeah, the colours, these are going to be, let me get them all together. This is my colour palette. You remember from last month's podcast, and that's when they were an acquisition, and I'm using Rikurumi's DK 100% cotton. Absolutely love as far as our cotton goes. Yes, they only come out at 25 grams, but I absolutely love them. They are one of my favourite cottons, and they're a little bit of a go-to if I know I'm not making something really big, like say for a garment. Like this is a bag and then it had colour work, so I'm getting away with only needing 2 in each colour kind of thing, because each stripe is only using a certain length of yarn. And so yeah, it's working out for me in this way. Of course, I wouldn't say if you're going to buy like a garment, go with Rikirumi cotton. They have like a creative cotton in like Iran, which I'd rather say that comes in a bigger quantity, so of course you're getting more for your money. But yeah, I really like Rico Design. I've been leaning a lot towards their yarns, especially for summer. And yeah, I'm excited to have a colourful summer bag, a nice little tote for when I'm out and about and getting some lovely crocheting. And it's lovely to be working with a lot of different colours. It can be really, it's sort of nice, especially it's a little bit, I've heard people refer to stuff like this as, is it potato chippy? Of course, like for me it would be crisps because I'm in the UK, but it's like, it's you finish one and you want to start the next, and that would be like the rows of colour, because it's quite an addictive stitch. I really like it. So yeah, check out Made by Hannah Louise. She has some really lovely patterns and some really lovely summer stuff as well, so it's the perfect time to go check that out. Okay, now let's move on to some of my acquisitions. Okay, so first up I have a few things from when I was at Wonderwool in Wales a few weeks ago. If you haven't already seen my vlog, you can see that. I'll put the link down below, because yeah, I was at a yarn show and it was huge and brilliant and beautiful, and there were so many lovely things to buy. In the vlog I do show you everything that I bought, but today for this podcast I'm only going to show you a few things that I've handpicked out, because I actually have plans that I'm going to start doing right away. So I've got a few things that I want to cast on, and so they're the yarns that I'm going to be showing you today, what I'm going to be used for those plans I've got that I'm going to be executing basically this week and probably next week. But first up I have this lovely blended top, and I'm not sure if it can come up on camera, but it does have specks of glitter. Need them to like pick up the light and like twinkle or something. No. Anywho, it's absolutely beautiful, and if you know me, you know that I love anything purple, and even the glitter is sort of purpley. So this is Fairy Wings by the Shepherd's Hut, from fleece to fabric, and it's a blended top of 81% merino, 16% silk and 3% stellina, which is of course what creates the glitter, and I cannot wait to get that all spun up. It's very, very beautiful. So yeah, saw loads of lovely stalls at the yarn show, and I did say to myself, I want to buy things that are different. I know different things, different fibres, especially blends and things like that. And of course, going into summer, I wanted some really some nice lightweight things that I could work up. So here I have a Neo Fluff fingering yarn, 400 meters at 100 grams. It's 42% Mike merino wool, 32% superfine alpaca, 18% Neo neb, and that's of course the little flecks, and 8% linen. So there's a lot there, a lot to talk about. And what I'm planning to do with this is make this crochet top. This is the kelp top, and I'm blanking on who it's by. I'm going to write it below. But yes, I think this would be just absolutely beautiful, crocheted into like a lovely little crop, but with like a nice wide sleeve. And I actually saw this top worked up at the show. Someone had it on their stall, and I just thought, oh, this is beautiful, and it looks like something I could make up in no time, because it's just trebles, so we love a treble. But yeah, I thought it was absolutely gorgeous, and I had to have it, and it feels really nice as well. Okay, two more from things that I got at the show. This is Patagonia by Juniper Moon Farm, and it's organic merino wool, which is the finest organic merino humanly raised in Argentina. Oh wow. And I got two different colours in the same. There we go. And yes, so the green is in seafoam and the pink is in mallow, and I absolutely love them together. I'm thinking I'm going to make something striped, like with a nice chunky stripe, probably 4 rows each in each colour, really nice and chunky. I think it's going to be sort of a thin shawl type. I'm going to do some planning today, because I'm thinking that I would love to design a nice shawl with like sort of really lovely edging and just a really, really thick stripe. It's what I've been seeing when I look at these two. They're both 100 grams. They both come in at 350 meters. So I'm excited to see what I can make with them. And yeah, I think they're just absolutely gorgeous, and I love pink and green together, and they were just so lovely and sort of pastel. So I'm really, really excited for those. Okay, now on to what I got in my yarn mail. So first up is two cottons. They are both the same. They're Millamia's Sweden yarn, and they're the naturally soft cotton in 100% cotton, and they're both 50 grams. And I got this like sort of deep purpley colour. Where do you go? Like a bluey purpley colour. It's a little. And then this is called Baby Elephant, and it's like this nice blue, sort of off grey. I was hoping to get the pebble grey colour, but it was out. I got these from Lovecrafts and it was out of stock on there. So we'll see. But I'm thinking I might still swatch with what I've got here, because I really want to make this summer dress, which I think is totally lovely. I really want to make that, but I was wondering, I don't know if held together they're going to be thick enough for the gauge. So I'm still going to swatch, and I'm still going to see how it sort of comes out, and maybe what fabric I can get with the gauge and the needle that I use. But yeah, a little bit playing around with these to figure it out, but I really would love a summer dress, definitely made with cotton. That sort of lightweight, breathable fabric is what I'd like to go with for the summer, because I think it would just be beautiful. And yes, okay, my next one is a little exciting, because I've wanted to buy Knitting for Olive for quite a long time, and I took the plunge, and I've got two here in the same colour, but they are different bases, and I have the intention of holding them together. So I've got Knitting for Olive, obviously they're heavy merino in this beautiful pearl grey colour. And camera just not doing it justice. Okay, and then holding that with the soft silk mohair in the same colour, pearl grey. Yes, and these two together I'm going to be swatching for the Busan sweater by Agu Knits, and I'm super excited because love a merled grey. I'm worried that I'm going a little, like, I've got too many grey things on the go and like beige related. Yeah, I'm worried about that, but I do think it'd be absolutely beautiful with like an off-white sort of grey colour for the Busan. Yeah, so that's what I'm thinking. I'm going to swatch with it and I'll see what it's like when it's knitted up, and then I'll have a better idea if I definitely want to go ahead with this colour palette. I've done that. Okay, and then last but certainly not least is Knitting for Olive's Pure Silk in the colour Putty. Now, I've heard people talk about it, obviously, very good things, and initially from just feeling the yarn itself, it would make a gorgeous garment. It feels so lovely. It's soft, but it still has that sort of lovely cotton-like sort of edge to it, but of course it isn't. That's like, this is what silk feels like on its own, I guess. Yeah, so the Pure Silk it's 100% Boret silk, and 50 grams both of them, coming in at 250 meters. So 500 meters, probably just about enough to make a really cute cropped summer top. That's what I'm thinking. Haven't fully decided on the design yet or what pattern I'll go with. I do think I'll already go with a pattern that's already out there though, rather than designing my own, because designing my own would take time and I'd love to just make something and be able to wear it for summer. And there's been some really lovely summer small top knits that I've had my eyes on. So yeah. But absolutely gorgeous. And again, the putty colour, so pretty. It's going to pair so well with like just like a black t-shirt underneath. That's the plan. Okay. That's all my acquisitions. And yeah, that's everything. It was probably a lot longer than it needed to be, but I got through it all. So I'm happy about that. Okay. Right. Please let me know what you are also making. I want to know. I want to know what patterns you're looking at and what yarns you're using, especially as we go into those hotter months. Everything feels it sort of takes this sort of change with the stash, and we all lean towards the more lighter yarns, the linens, the cottons, the silks. So let me know what you're currently making. I really want to know. Leave me a comment below. If you want to ask me about anything that I'm making or anything that I've mentioned in my video, leave a comment below. Please don't forget to like if you've enjoyed this video, this podcast, and yeah, subscribe, hit the little bell if you want to see when I'm posting again. I'm Rebecca Louise of Rebecca Louise Knits, and you've been watching my podcast, my monthly podcast. Bye everyone. Thank you.